These people have a with the exception of Melissa and myself, and some other gracious gentlemen here and ladies on the stage, have a reputation for being very somber, very serious. I just want to share one little story about one of my heroes, Scott Schaefer Duffy. I know some of you know him. He and his wife run the Catholic Border in Worcester, Massachusetts. And a few years ago, Scott took on a very important project, and that is to make the community aware of the damage of war toys. And so he and his wife made a Santa Claus suit, and a bag of toys, and a hat and a beard, and he fixed a sign saying, "No more war toys." And he began to picket the Toys R Us store at the big mall over there in Worcester, Massachusetts. And he would go 8, 10, 12 hours a day picketing up in front. And after a few days, the manager came out and said, "Look, Santa, you're running my business. People are turning away." Because he said, "Well, if you just stop selling more toys, because, that's how our kids learn about war. I will quit. I will retire, and I'll be delighted." He said, "I'm calling the cops if you don't get out of here." He said, "Well, I'm prepared for that, too." So he did. He called the police, and here come the cops. "Santa, what are you doing? Get out of here. They got you. Come on. It's a few days before Christmas. You're running." He said, "No, I honestly believe we have to make parents aware of where children learn the idea of war and violence, and it's with the toys. Why can't we have non-violent toys?" The cop said, "That's a lie, Crook. If you don't leave right now, we're going to arrest you." And Scott Schaefer Duffy backed up against the window of the Toys R Us, and he reached in the bag and pulled out a piece of coal and said, "Don't make me use this." Oh, Lord, I'm almost there. As one reflects on the devastation and despair that this wretched administration has unleashed on the world, I'm reminded of the old adage, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And that's what our foreign policy has been since 2001, unfortunately. I think we moved from legitimate protection to paranoia. And in September, almost exactly a year after 9/11, Mr. Bush issued an edict saying that the United States reserved the right to attack anyone, including with nuclear weapons, that they considered a threat. And we're still there. And if you leave the United States and go to any distant country, as Melissa does, and I do on occasion, you get a very different feeling of how people feel about us. But I can assure you of this: they do not look at us the same way they do our government. They have learned to make a separation from the American people and their government, and that's a good thing. And I can assure you that the more we raise our voices in dissent about what the real American ideal is against this horrific business coming out of Washington, I think we have a real chance to make some changes. But as we said earlier, they have to happen in our heart. I'm not much of a public speaker. I honestly say that. I don't enjoy it. It makes me very nervous. I love to get laughs, but they don't always come. At any rate, I started to get interested in public speaking with the advent of this war, and we knew what was coming down on Iraq for 6 or 8 months prior, and we began to protest, and I began to speak seriously. And I'll just close with the first speech that I made in March of 2003 at a peace rally in downtown Los Angeles, which placed me squarely at odds with this administration. There's an old Hebrew adage, "Choose your enemy well, for he is what you will become." In order to prepare for war, you must not be sensitive or poetic or humorous. You must not be self-effacing or reflective, sentimental or forgiving. You must not be tentative, compassionate, or lighthearted. On the contrary, in order to prepare for war, you must be clear, uncompromising, and confident. You must look life square in the eye and choose death.